B is for Baba. T is for Thomas the Tank Engine and friends. P is for Play School. F is for Fireman Sam.
When he hears the fire bell chime, Fireman Sam is there on time.
S is for Spot.
Spot, Spot, a lovable Spot.
And ABC is for the best in children's video. They're all available for you to collect now.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
It was another hot day in Greendale. A very hot day. Everything was drying up. It's a real scorcher today, said Pat to Jess as they drove along. Phew, I'm thirsty already. Mrs. Goggins was trying to get cool outside the post office. Morning, Pat. Isn't it hot? And we're going to be without water today. I know, said Pat. The lake's really low. They're going to turn the water off this morning. Whatever will we do? But they can't turn off the lemonade. Here, have a drink, Pat, before you go. Ah, just what I need. My, that's good. That's much better. Thank you. Well, I'll be off then. Hey, don't forget Granny Dryden's parcel. It looks like something special. I won't. And thanks for the drink. Cheerio. Pat put the parcel in the van to deliver later on. He started his round with the village letters. He met Granny Dryden out shopping and told her about the water being cut off.
Well, it's a pity the old pump's not working,
She said.
There were plenty of dry times in my young days, and do you know it never dried up, not once.
I wonder, said Pat. I wonder if Ted Glen could mend it. I must ask him. He can fix just about anything. Morning, Pat. Morning, Mrs. Pottage. Let's see, I think I have something for you today. Oh, thank you. Right, Jess. That's the village done. Now for the farms. The water was already off at Greendale Farm. Peter Fogg was drawing water for the cows from the old well. Hello, Tom. Helping out? Hello, Pat. Warm work, this. Still got water in the old well. Let's have a look. Oh, whoops. Oh, now you've done it. I wonder if I can fish it out with this hook. Ah, got it. It'll be nice and cool anyway. At least I didn't drop this down the well. It's for you. Oh, thanks. Could you drop this can of water off at George Lancaster's place? There'll be no water up there. Sure, we'll be going past there, won't we, Jess? Cheerio. Hello, Pat. Isn't this drought terrible? We haven't got a drop of water left. Don't worry, if you look in the back, I've brought you a can from Peter Fogg. He said you'd be short. Thanks, Pat. That's grand. Cheerio! Pat remembered to call at Ted Glen's workshop to ask if he could mend the old village pump. Hello, Ted? Anyone at home? Ah, there you are. Pat asked him about the pump. What, that old pump in the village? Well, I don't know. It's worth a try. I'll get me tools. Leave it with me. Bum 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 bum, bum 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 bum, dee 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 dee, bum 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 bum. Mrs. Thompson was enjoying a cup of tea. Pat called with a letter. Hello, Mrs. Thompson. How are you getting on? Are you out of water like everyone else? Oh no, our spring's still flowing. Ah, very nice too. I wonder how Ted's getting on.
There's a handyman called Ted Glenn, and he's working once again. He can just about fix anything you'll ever need to mend. Maybe a tractor or a ladder or a broken frying pan. Just go down and see him, and he'll help you if he can. He'll just say,
Leave it with me, leave it with me. I'll try to fix that up for you as quickly as can be. He'll just say, leave it with me, leave it with me. I'll try to fix that up for you as quickly as can be.
all the valley knows that he's the best of handymen. They all say, if you want things mended, go and see Ted Glenn. A broken clock, or a horseshoe, or an engine in a van. Just go down and see him, and he'll help you if he can. He'll just say,
Leave it with me, leave it with me. I'll try to fix that up for you as quickly as can be. He'll just say, leave it with me, leave it with me. I'll try to fix that up for you as quickly as can be. He'll just say, leave it with me, leave it with me. I'll try to fix that up for you as quickly as can be.
Granny Dryden was watching out for Pat. He brought her a can of water as well as her parcel. Remember what you said about the old pump? Well, Ted's mended it. It's going a treat. When she opened the parcel, she discovered it was Pat's new digital watch, which she had ordered for him from Manchester. Pat was very pleased with it. I'll always be on time now, he said. Thank you for getting it for me. I'll bring the money tomorrow. Look after yourself. Goodbye. Pat had kept a can of water for himself, too. Jess kept a sharp eye on it. He didn't want another wetting, no matter how hot it was.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.
Bum, 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 bum. Dee-dum, dum, dee-dum, bum, bum. Rum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
It was a windy day in Greendale. Hang on, Jess. It's a difficult job driving in this wind. Help! I can't see. Alf Thompson was nearly blown off his feet. Look out! How are we going to get past this lot? Said Pat. Oh, hello, Jess. Hello, Pat. It was Peter Fogg on the other side. Hey, this wretched wind, he said. Blowing trees down all over the place. Don't worry, Pat. I'll soon shift it. I'll nip down the forestry place and borrow their machine. No wonder it blew over. It's rotten. Peter was soon back with the log lifter and a power saw. Now then, we'll soon cut our way through. Stand back, these things don't half go. I'll just get these branches out of the way, Peter. Now then, let's see if we can move the pieces. Phew, it's warm work. Should be able to get through there, said Pat. Then went for his van. But it had gone. Oh! Where could it be? There it was, safe and sound. It was just along the road next to Sam's mobile shop. I moved your van down the road, said Sam. I could see your new paint was going to get scratched with all these branches flying about. Thanks, said Pat. It is smart, isn't it? Royal crown and all. Cheerio, Sam. Cheerio! Thanks, Peter. Cheerio! We'll have to get a move on now, Jess. Now what? Ouch! My hat! Come here. Oh, no. I'll never catch it now. It's that cable again. I'll soon fix that. There was nobody about at the village school. Have they all been blown away? The children were out enjoying the wind. But the wind wanted to deliver the letters. In all directions. The children helped to find them. One letter was stuck in a tree. Careful. It would be an airmail letter. What a day. Hold them tightly. I think they're all air letters today. Bill Thompson took them to the headmaster. And Pat waved goodbye. Pat was blown about the valley all morning with his letters and parcels. It was almost the end of his windy round when he saw a flying towel. It was one of Granny Dryden's. He went to help her catch her washing.
"Oh, Pat," she said, "this wind's terrible." "You are a dear. I'd never have caught it all by myself. Look, there's more over there." "Now we've got my washing, what about your hat?"
It blew off miles away and sailed down a stream.
"Good gracious,"
said Granny Dryden.
"Ted Glenn said he'd hooked a postman's hat out of the lake. I didn't see how it could be yours. Look, he popped it on the old scarecrow to dry."
It looks like mine. It is mine. Thanks, Mr. Scarecrow. Time to blow home, said Pat.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.
Bum 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 bum, bidum dum dilly dum bum bum, bum 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 bum.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. Early in the morning, just as day is dawning, he picks up all the post bags in his van. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Everybody knows his bright red van. All his friends will smile as he waves to greet them. Maybe you can never be sure. There'll be knock, ring, letters through your door. Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat. All the birds are singing, and the day is just beginning. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man. Pat feels he's a really happy man.
Fog in Greendale. Pat had to go slowly along the winding lanes. Someone waved to him, but he couldn't make out who it was. Good morning, he shouted. He was late when he reached the village post office. Good morning, Mrs. Goggins. Sorry I'm late. No need to hurry, said Mrs. Goggins. There's no sign of the letters yet. It'll be this nasty fog. Come and sit yourself down and have a nice cup of tea. Thank you. That'll be lovely after that foggy drive, said Pat. I'll just brew up. that's lovely. Pat was just getting warm and comfortable, and Mrs. Goggins was just bringing the tea and biscuits when ping went the shop's doorbell. "It's early for a customer," said Mrs. Goggins. "That's a good cup of tea," said Pat. But Mrs. Goggins came in with the mailbag. "It's here," she said. "What, already? How did he get through so quickly?" "There's no fog down at Pencaster. It's only in Greendale. So he's not as late as we thought he'd be." Just as I'd picked my favourite biscuit. Oh, well, no time for that now. I'd better get on my way. Hold on, Mrs. Goggins. I'll give you a hand. He helped to sort the letters. Not too many today, thank goodness, with all this fog about. Goodbye. Oh, and thanks for the tea. Mind how you go. It's as thick as ever out here. Pat knew the Greendale roads well enough, but they looked different in the fog, and his lights weren't much help. He must have taken a wrong turn somewhere, so he stopped by a signpost to find out where he was. Oh dear, it wasn't a signpost, only a crossroads sign. Now what? Pat didn't know which way to go. He walked along the lane, trying to see through the fog. I can't see a thing. Oh, I'd better not lose sight of the van. Hey, dear, even my glasses are fogged up. Then he saw someone standing in the field. Why is he so still? It must be Ted Glenn out after rabbits. He'll know the way. I'll pop over with his letter and ask him. Pat walked up very quietly so as not to disturb the rabbits and touched Ted on the shoulder. Ted didn't move. Pat put the letter in Ted's pocket. He still didn't move. Pat gave him a nudge. Oh, it was a scarecrow. Pat did feel silly. He was glad no one saw him. Sorry, Scarecrow. The letter isn't for you. And I don't suppose you can tell me the way in this fog. Goodbye. He was just wondering what to do when he saw some lights coming through the fog. It was Alf Thompson on his tractor. Luckily, he wasn't lost. He soon showed Pat which way to go. Pat was on his way again. He saw Sam's mobile shop parked at the side of the road. Hello, Sam. This fog gets in your throat, doesn't it? Have you got any cough sweets? These'll do the trick, said Sam. Thank you. Thanks, Sam. Cheerio. The next stop was at the church.
Hello, Pat. Isn't this fog ghastly? Said the Reverend Timms. Don't know how you found your way. What a day for choir practice. But I expect Miss Hubbard will come. Nothing stops her. Thanks, Pat. Go carefully and trust in the Lord. Goodbye. Cheerio, Reverend.
When Pat got back to his van, he saw that Jess had gone. Pat looked everywhere. Where could that cat be? Perhaps he'd gone looking for rabbits. Pat set out to seek Jess. He called and called.
Jess! Jess, where are you? Jess!
Come on, Jess.
Hip puss, 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 puss. Jess! Jess! Puss, 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 puss. Jess! Come on, Jess. Oh!
Come on, Jess, this is no time for hide and seek. Oh.
Puss, 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 puss.
Oh, dear, dear, dear. Ooh. Where have you been, Jess? This is no time to wander off. Come on. Pat was lost again. Now you've done it, Jess. We're really lost this time. Let's try this way. He couldn't even find the road, let alone his van. Miss Hubbard passed the van on the way to the church.
No Pat and no Jess. What could have happened to them? Hello, Vicar. Have you seen Pat? His van's in the road, but there's no sign of him or his cat. Oh, dear. Pat called quite some time ago. They must be lost in the fog. I know what we must do, said Miss Hubbard. We must ring the bells to guide them back to the church. Come along, Reverend. Pull.
I wonder why the church bells are ringing. They don't usually ring for choir practice. Still, they're as good as a foghorn. We'll soon find the way now.
There's Pat now.
Hello, Reverend. Hello, Miss Hubbard.
It's a good thing you rang those bells. We were completely lost.
Never mind, we're all right now.
The Lord is our guide, said the Reverend. Come and have some tea. There's plenty in the pot.
Thanks, just what I need, said Pat. There was some milk for Jess.
Look, said Miss Hubbard. It's much lighter outside.
The sun was shining and a breeze had blown the fog away. Ah, that's much better, said Pat. Now I can get on with my letters. Come on, Jess. Cheerio.
Farewell. Bye, Pat.
It was lovely driving along in the sunshine without getting lost. Look, Jess, that scarecrow's still waiting for a letter.
Postman Pat, Postman Pat, Postman Pat, and his black and white cat.
Bum, 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 dee-dum, dum, dee-dum, bum.